Hey everyone! I'm trying to be cheerful. This episode I wrote off the back of what's been an amusing now, but earlier this week, pretty stressful couple of days. It's an episode about red wine, laptops, and how when one thing goes wrong, every other spinning plate suddenly smells blood in the water, and what nature has to say about all of it. So a couple of nights ago, I poured red wine into my brand new laptop. Not near it, not onto the table beside it, into it, like directly into the keyboard. I was listening to something on my phone using my old school white corded headphones while I worked on something on my laptop, and you can see it, right? I lean over the desk, cords quietly meet wine glass, and so as I return to upright position, cords introduce wine glass to MacBook with great enthusiasm. I know. I can hear you already saying, well, there's the lesson, Pia. Don't use corded headphones. Let's be clear, they go, not the wine. If you've never watched red wine slowly move inside a laptop screen before, I can tell you right now, it's a uniquely horrible little experience. I spent about, 10 minutes holding the thing upside down over a towel, trying to think of something useful to do, which apparently is not how computers work. Honestly, it was like burping a child, rubbing its little base, trying to coax the fluid out. This is a true story. I'll put a photo of it in the video or on Insta. Keyboard dead immediately. I slept maybe 4 hours max that night, which is pretty unusual for me. Lots going on, and I think my brain just wanted to keep sorting things out. I'm sure you know the drill. So I woke up thinking, okay, my workday is going to take a massive pivot here to now also have to include Mac repairers, Apple stores, and God knows what. Instead, my laundry had properly flooded from the overnight rain somehow. And no sooner had I dried my feet from the laundry mess, in my bathroom, my toilet cistern started leaking. We're talking plumber level, not can I whack a little bit of leftover sealant around and that will do. And then to top it all off, trying to salvage the small pile of papers that was stacked next to my Mac, which had served as my temporary wine glass coaster last night. What could possibly go wrong? Unearthed even more pain. A wine-stained, now, car rego and insurance reminder with a due date that was this week. It's been an expensive week. And somewhere between standing in a saturated laundry looking at water-damaged cabinetry and Googling how much liquid can a MacBook survive, I had this deeply irritating realization. See, a couple of weeks ago, I gave a conference speech about resilient systems, and I was literally talking about forest canopies and how nature builds systems that can absorb pressure without everything grinding to a halt the minute something goes wrong. I use these principles for work all the time. It never occurred to me to apply it to myself in my personal life. So apparently, I professionally understand resilient systems while somehow personally build a fairly fragile one. And this is what irritates me about nature sometimes. It holds up the mirror when I want to see the reflection the least. And weirdly, once I had that realization, I started noticing something else as well. The system, my system, had already started responding. So my neighbour, who's a roofer, came over and helped me look at the flooded room, and together we went all forensic trying to find out where the leak was coming from, which of course was actually quite fun as it continued to rain. I also text vented to a friend just to release, and he responded instantly with, "What can I do?" The repair shop took the laptop and gave me a reference number, and somehow just knowing that someone else partially owned the problem now kind of made me feel immediately less, insane. Plus, there was something deeply funny to me about being admonished in very serious terms about the catastrophic effects of alcohol by a computer doctor. And here I was thinking that was mostly a liver conversation. I also used AI, of course, to rapidly map out contingencies and to quickly find a repair place that specifically dealt with liquid damaged Macs. And then I think most importantly for my ability to keep actually working during this slight upheaval, I remembered that I still had an old MacBook, the one that started dying last year that led me to this brand new one that is now tainted in wine. Before I'd consciously even realised all of this, I was already a bit calmer. Not calm, but able to problem solve better. I started to notice I was feeling a little bit lighter, and I immediately thought, oh, I'm sharing the load. And I didn't even realise. And it's working, which is weird because honestly, the situation itself was still a bit shit. The problems were all still unresolved, but the load felt shared, a bit absorbed. And honestly, the train wreck of the past 24 hours probably didn't just start with that bloody high drama of good wine on my expensive laptop. It started weeks earlier. During a really hectic stretch, I was juggling work and travel and conference prep and feral and life. Things just got sidelined. Nothing dramatic, just small bits of maintenance and life admin quietly getting deprioritised. And then Winegate. And suddenly, every little thing I'd been quietly kicking down the road smelled blood in the water, including things nobody else even realises that you're carrying. Fortunately, my optimism bias stepped in, and somewhere between muddy drains and wine stain removal, I suddenly thought, oh, the forest canopy thing. And then another part of my brain basically went, ooh, fascinating. You're a single point of failure in your own system. It's a bit like all that canopy stuff you were banging on about a few weeks ago, still floating around inside here, teased by my own brain. Anyway, I started thinking, hang on, I need a canopy. Not metaphorically like go hug a tree vibes, structurally. Because right now, every bit of pressure is just landing directly on me. And that's actually where the forest canopy comes in play. We think of it as the tops of trees, but it's really a buffering system. You walk from an open paddock into a mature forest somewhere on a brutally hot day, and you feel it instantly. Cooler, quieter, less exposed. The canopy softens things in a way. Wind, heat, rainfall. Same sun, same day, completely different world underneath. And that's not accident, that's design. Importantly, no single tree is doing all of that work alone. The protection comes from the overlap. The canopy buffers some of that pressure, but it also helps manage overflow, which brings me to rain, a topic right now I have a fairly complicated relationship with. When it rains, the canopy doesn't just block the water, it reroutes it or routes it, depending which hemisphere you're from. Water hits the leaves and branches and travels down trunks, drips through slowly, spreading impact across the system instead of letting it hammer one spot directly. Overflow paths already built in, not for the average day, for the day the average day stops, like mine. It's so funny how you see systems clearly at work and then completely miss them in your own personal life. Because none of the people who've helped me over the last few days solved anything completely. My neighbour didn't magically fix the flooding. My friend didn't bring me a new laptop, still waiting. The repair shop person didn't say, piece of cake, all will be well. But all of them changed the conditions. They stopped all that pressure concentrating in one place, on me. And looking back, feels like ages ago, it's literally been in the last 48 hours, I can see some of that was buffer, absorbing and softening some of the impact. My neighbour helping me investigate the flooding, my friend instantly asking, what can I do? Even just not feeling like I was holding every moving part alone anymore. And some of it was overflow, new pathways opening up once I hit capacity. the repair shop taking the Mac, me dusting off the old laptop, finding backup options and contingencies to let things continue to flow. Buffer and overflow. Honestly, tree canopies have had 300 to 400 million years to get pretty good at that balancing act. So here's what I actually took from this week so far. And I want to keep it practical because honestly, this isn't one of those resilience episodes where we all just nod solemnly and then carry on. This is more what might actually help on a Tuesday when everything goes tits up. Because I strongly suspect I'm not the only Calamity Jane in the village. First, just have an honest look around. Just pick one thing, one process, one tool, one relationship, where if it disappeared tomorrow, everything downstream would jam. Maybe it's you holding all the context for a project that no one else fully gets. Or maybe it's one income stream doing all the heavy lifting. Maybe it's a friendship quietly absorbing most of your emotional overflow. Or maybe it's one device containing your entire working life. Just maybe. That's the spot where everything starts jamming if one thing goes down. And the question now isn't how do I fix this immediately? It's just, do you even see it? The second thing this week got me thinking about is all the stuff we're constantly trying to streamline away, tighten everything, remove redundancy, do more with less. And I get it for sure. I promise this won't turn into a resilience lecture. But canopies are such a smart design. They don't squeeze every last drop of efficiency out of a system. They carry a little extra capacity for recovery. Storms hit, things break. So before you cancel that thing, sell that thing, or streamline that thing, ask yourself, is this genuinely unnecessary? Or is it quietly absorbing load I haven't even noticed yet? Because resilience often looks a bit inefficient, right up until the moment you desperately need it. Like my old laptop. Honestly, if you'd asked me a week ago, I'd have described it as clutter now. But now, it's basically emergency infrastructure. I'm able to continue functioning and working only because I have it. I nearly sold this part of my canopy a couple of months ago. We're not talking hoarding, just maybe don't optimize your life so hard there's no buffer left. And the third thing is about timing. Build the overflow paths before the storm, not like me during it. The canopy doesn't add overflow routing when the big storm hits. It's already there. It's built during the unremarkable Tuesdays and Wednesdays when it seems completely unnecessary. So what's your overflow path for when things get concentrated and overwhelmed? Who else knows how to step in? Who could you call? Who would actually answer? What's your backup that isn't just hoping things don't break? It doesn't have to be elaborate. My overflow path was an exhausted old laptop and a neighbour who happens to be an awesome roofer. Build your little canopy. Add a little buffer to absorb the pressure and add a few overflow paths for when too much hits all at once. But just keep a bit of balance. Honestly, that's probably my tip to myself in all of this as well, because too much buffer without overflow, that's soothed, but still stuck. Too many overflow pathways, and that's more frantic rerouting while you're still really stressed. Just thinking about it now, has anyone ever tried to just talk to someone about something and all they do is instantly jump into solve mode, try to redirect it, fix it, tell you what to do, and you're like, can you just sit and listen for a minute? I just need to vent before we start solving everything. Which leads me to the last little morsel for you to nibble on. Where are you part of someone else's canopy? This is not, are you kind? This is not, are you a good person? Just practically, buffer and overflow. Who becomes a little less exposed because you absorbed something, you shared something, or because you helped redirect the pressure, you suggested something, you took something on, you opened up another pathway? My neighbour didn't solve my problem. He just meant that I wasn't the only brain holding it for a minute. And that's the whole thing. And sometimes being part of someone else's canopy is as simple as texting, "What can I do?" and meaning it. Anyway, I'm recording this on my old laptop, the one I nearly sold because it looked totally unnecessary. Turns out, nature figured out a hell of a long time ago that things that look inefficient are sometimes the exact things keeping the whole system standing when the wind blows. And that's feral by design. This episode is dedicated to Tom, Rod, Claude, and one extremely anti-alcohol computer doctor called James. Sometimes you don't even realise you're part of someone else's canopy.